It's early morning, guys, and I know I'm speaking quietly, but it's because my son's in the next room sleeping. But this was on my heart, so it's something that I feel I have to read and just kind of discuss because I think it's something that we need to all take with some gravity because a lot of times we live in a world where deep down we don't feel like this type of stuff could happen to us. And part of being a Christian is fully understanding that this type of stuff could happen and does happen to a lot of Christians. So I'm going to read Matthew 24, starting in verse 9. We're going to read it and just do a quick thought about it. Then they will deliver you to tribulation and will kill you. You will be hated by all nations because of my name. At that time, many will fall away and will betray one another and hate one another. Many false prophets will arise and will mislead many. Because lawlessness is increased, most people's love will grow cold. But the one who endures to the end, he will be saved. His gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in the whole world as a testimony to all the nations, and then the end will come. Therefore, when you see the abomination of desolation, which was spoken of through Daniel the prophet, standing in the holy place, then those who are in Judea must flee to the mountains. Whoever is on the house step must not go down to get the things that are in his house. Whoever is in the field must not turn back to get his cloak. But woe to those who are pregnant and to those who are nursing babies in those days. But pray that your flight will not be in the winter or on a Sabbath. For then there will be a great tribulation, such as has not occurred since the beginning of the world until now, nor ever will. Unless those days had been cut short, no life would have been saved, but for the sake of the elect, those days will be cut short. Then if anyone says to you, Behold, here is the Christ, or there he is, do not believe him. For false Christs and false prophets will arise and will show great signs and wonders so as to mislead, if possible, even the elect. Behold, I have told you in advance, so if they say to you, Behold, he is in the wilderness, do not go out. Or behold, he is in the inner rooms, do not believe them. For just as the lightning comes from the east and flashes even to the west, so will the coming of the Son of Man be. Wherever the corpse is, there the vultures will gather. I think a lot of times as Christians, especially when you get the debates about the rapture, will the rapture happen before the tribulation? Will it happen during, after? Frankly, I've always said I really don't care. I have to live each day as it's given to me. And I still hold that thought. Now, you read this, I tend to lean towards, okay, I don't believe the rapture is happening before the tribulation because it talks about the elect. You can make an argument, it's just making a comparison, but it's really outside of the scope of this discussion. What is in this discussion is that there is a warning Christ is giving to his followers, to his believers. There may be a time in your life where you have to give up everything on a whim, or on a moment's notice, I should say, a grave decision to give it all up. And I want you to look around your house right now, and I want you to truly ask yourself, if somebody comes to your door and offers you a deal too sweet to pass up, but you have to give up something inside in order to do that, what do you do? If somebody tells you, you can keep everything you have, you can be safe, we just need you to start giving yourself to us, what do? You may say, oh, of course, Christ, I'll give it all up. But people act in fear. And if you act in fear, you're not acting in faith. And so this is that time for reflection. If you notice those waves that are slowly creeping up of what will you submit to? What will you allow others to tell you to do? I'm not saying crass disobedience, anything like that, but what I am saying is you need to be aware that it won't come hard and fast. It'll come in layers. in stages, and then when it's too late, it comes hard and fast. So now is the time to bolster your faith. Now is the time to understand and truly get on your knees with the Lord and say, Lord, I need to accept you and reject everything else no matter what. And the question I was asking myself this morning is, can I stick in faith with the Lord if I'm given the choice between keeping my son in my hands or him being taken? It's a very heavy thing. All I'm asking you to do is to actually ask yourself those heavy questions. Do not spend this time when we are in comfort and relative safety and we can hold on to the things that we've got at the moment. Do not spend this time lounging around and being lazy about your relationship with the Lord. Christ is the only way. You can't get out of this with everything you got. You get out of this by yourself, with the Lord. And that's the hope, right? Massey and I tried to end these things with hope, and that's the hope that I want you to have. You have Christ. When all else must be given up, you do not have to give up Christ. You can walk with the eternal Creator, man, who will restore everything for you in His appointed time. But you first have to realize that you have to leave everything behind. And that may not be the moment that you accept Christ, but it may be 20 years down the road. Maybe 50 years down the road. And in a sense, woe to the Western Christian. We've watched Christians in the Middle East persecuted like crazy. Christians in China, Christians in Korea, Christians all over the world, and Western Christians have really had it easy. And so now's the time for us to really seek out the Lord and buck up and make sure we're walking with the Spirit, man. Because if you're not, you don't have a chance. So that's all, guys. Grave, I know. But just on my heart to do this. So I pray you take it in the right context of, man, go to Christ. Go to Christ now. Right now. Go to Christ. Start doing this this weighing out, right? This pulling you apart and dissecting. Lord, search my heart. Let your heart be searched by the Lord and figure out, are you willing to walk away from everything for His name to keep Him? So I love you guys. Take care. I'll see you soon.